So what we wanted to show you right now is the actual finished product of the job that you're fixing to see on this video. It's actually a skim coat job, which is a thin polymer-based concrete. You'll want to get a concrete guy in your town to actually put that in for you. We don't actually go through it in the video. It's a polymer-based concrete, like so concrete science, making sure it has lime in it, would work. And what we want to do is actually show you the job now so we can go through some of the details of what you may see in this video. So this client actually had some concrete staining before us, and actually it really wasn't all that good of a job. It's what's called micro-topping. Micro-topping is really thin, like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, and if you drop anything on it, it's going to nick and break. So what we did is we wanted to have a good marriage between the old concrete staining and the new concrete staining. Now as you can see, a skim coat has more of a troweled kind of look in it. So you need to get real clear with your client before you actually sell them the job so that they know that it's not a perfectly flat floor. We use the words leathery or old world, or you just want to get real clear with them that it's not going to be absolutely perfectly flat. Now it's smooth when it's done, but it's got these ridges and lines in it, so you really want to let them know that it's kind of an earthy thing. So right here, we decided to put a bridge of bricks in between this to separate the old with the new and give it a look. She's like a Tuscany brick kind of fan, so we actually did this with a dark walnut mixed 4:1, and then this is actually a chemical cola mixed 4:1 also, and you do not want to reboost it with stain. Just 4 parts water to 1 part cola. So on these jobs, you take out all the baseboards and you can see the cut lines in the wall where when we cut our lines in, it went into the wall. This is actually going to be okay because we know that our client is actually going to put baseboard back in. Another thing that you'll notice is that it's real flat here on the edge. That way the baseboard really goes back in clean. We'll go back in and show you that in the video later as why you want to do that. But when the skim coat gets done, you really want to break away anything that's level and high so that the baseboards fit in and the floor has a more flat effect to it. So with skim coats, you actually have the choice of putting it in whatever color you want. Like you can put it in 100% white or 100% gray, depending on if you have a light floor or a dark floor. We kind of wanted a light floor, so we went 30% gray, 70% white. That's white powder, gray powder, and the polymer mixed together to put in the skim coat by Concrete Science. So this is the actual finished job. And like you say, you can look across the floor and you can actually see the textured look of it all. We put in 5 foot by 5 foot slab cuts to give it a really large marble granite type look, which is really what our client wanted. The reason we put them at 45-degree angles is it makes the room look bigger than it actually is if you actually did them straight. Right here we did the same brick effect going into the kitchen so it would separate it. Right here, one thing I did want to point out is I actually nicked the skim coat myself, so we filled it in with grout when we got done. And it doesn't look too bad, and our client was fine with it because she had a really rustic type feel to her floor anyway, so she was okay with it. Sometimes if you do it, you just want to color match it as best as you can. So this job has the skim coat, which is about 1/8 of an inch thick. It's got cola at 4:1, dark walnut at 4:1 on the bricks. It's got 2 coats of acetone base sealer and 4 coats of wax. And we're going to go through all that in the video. We're actually going to show you where we ripped out the baseboard and where we ripped out the carpet and prepped it ready for the for the new concrete to go in. One thing I would like to point out while we're here is if you have existing cabinetry or sliding glass doors, you want to get real clear with your client before you're over. Since there isn't going to be a baseboard here, well, what do? Because the floor isn't all that perfect on that edge because of where the tape was, and normally a baseboard would cover this. So what you want to get them to get is stuff called quarter round. You get it at Home Depot. It's a thin piece of wood, and you just run the quarter round along the bottom of the sliding glass doors, and again, like in the kitchens. You want to just put that piece of cord around at the end, and it actually buttons it up. Now, if you want to take care of that for your client, then that's your option if you want to do that. I don't really do wood, so we don't actually take care of it. My client also knew up front that she would be needing to put in new baseboards. You really don't want to do a skim coat with the baseboards in. What can happen is, for one, about halfway through the jobs, the baseboards might start popping off the wall because of the amount of water that's on the floor. And if you do leave them in, then the skim coat's actually going to bond to it, and you're never going to be able to get the baseboards out without some difficulty. So really, it's an opportunity to have brand new baseboards. You want to get clear about that with your client before you start. That way you're not caught in later with, oh yeah, by the way, we're ripping out your baseboards and you need to buy new ones. So it really stops a lot of confusion.